told you to put like Peter Daszak and all these other people onto this task force? Were you given suggestions by anybody, or were you
No,
just thinking, oh, these are the people I know?
yeah, no, exactly. It was the first. I was not pressured or led to do this at all. And
So you just
I would have,
happened, though, to select these people who happen to be extremely connected potentially to this entire outbreak to begin with. I mean, it was
no,
just so,
I selected selected Dashik because I knew him as the person that was tracking where SARS-like viruses came from. So I thought, okay, he's the guy. He's the guy that knows China. How cool would that be? The guy that really knows the story, uh, and really goes out and hunts for the viruses. So it was absolutely innocent on my part. No suggestion. Nobody told me to do it, and I was just as happy and content to fire him immediately as soon as I saw that he was not functioning to do this. So, in this sense, no, there's no story on that side. It's just
okay.
straightforward. I
So it's
stepped
that
into it
you,
and then I stepped out of it.
okay. Got it. So you were like, he's the guy. And clearly the government was also like, he's the guy. So
Yeah, I mean,
he's the
he's
guy
the
who
guy,
maybe
and
does this
it
type
made
of
sense,
research.
and many people said it made
Yeah.
sense, and so I went along with it because it did seem to make sense, and he named a lot of people who are big names, and it turns out they all have a lot of links to this, so it's not doesn't make
Got
one
it.
too happy.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
And then to discover the person, I'm not going to go into more names because it doesn't matter, but people were yelling, I mean, really yelling at me. And one was somebody that I've been friendly with and known for 25 years. And he was absolutely in this blistering attack. And I was shocked because this was a friend, and the way he was talking to me and about me, I found disgusting. But then he shows up as a co investigator. So the lying is something really amazing that I did not expect. But this means, somebody's really worried about the stakes of all of this. And it is like you say that, you know, the the Democrats are hopeless on this. Not one of them has shown any willingness to look at this truthfully, because
Right.
either protect Biden or protect Fauci. God, if you could think of something that is less a partisan issue than this, I can't even imagine. But anyway, the Democrats, and I used to be a Democrat. I'm leaving the party. I'm so disgusted by it in so many ways. But in any event, um, not one of them that I know of is interested in following this. And the Republicans they're interested. Partly they don't like Fauci, they want to get to the bottom of it. But
Right.
partly it is they don't like China, and they don't really, maybe they don't understand that how deep the US engagement is. It's not just a grant, it's definitely the science. Because even
Yeah.
if you take the scenario that Wuhan did it, it was done using the techniques that were developed in the United States. But I think
Yeah.
it could be more than that, because it's UNC and another theory that is very interesting, and I've not seen deeply developed, but there are now FOIA requests out to Rocky Mountain Lab. Rocky Mountain Lab is a research lab that is under the NIAID authority. And there's a very weird article where one of the researchers at Rocky Mountain Lab and Ralph Barrick write an article in 2018 saying that SARS such and such virus, actually, I think it's WIV1, which is one of the variants that they were studying in Wuhan, does not infect uh, Egyptian fruit bats, I think is the article. Whoa, that's a weird, weird topic. Who publishes an article that this Wuhan virus doesn't infect Egyptian fruit bats? I may have some detail wrong, but basically it's that. So you look at that and, well, yeah, okay, there are 1,000 things you might try, but the reason is these bats that were that were targeted are what Rocky Mountain Lab has in its bat collection. what's Barrick doing there suddenly? Barrick, the guy who manipulates SARS viruses, he's working with Rocky Mountain Lab clearly, and they're
Hmm.
preparing experiments on the Egyptian fruit bats clearly, right at the time that this virus is about to break out. So, can we ask what is going on in Rocky Mountain Lab? Has somebody mentioned it? Nobody's mentioned it. So, it is, this story has a long way to go, and I wonder what evidence has been destroyed or not destroyed to
Yeah.
try to cover up things. So it's very discouraging.
But you're right. At least members of the GOP they don't like Fauci, so they're willing to point the finger at the US on this a bit. And they don't like China, so they're looking at that lab. They're at least doing some investigation. I don't know
Absolutely.
if it
And I
will
applaud it
result.
completely.
Yeah,
I applaud it
right, right.
completely. And I hope they just keep pulling this thread and seeing where it really leads. And if they do
Yeah.
that, they'll really do a great service for this country.
And if it leads to the military industrial complex of the CIA, like it may, because there's no reason for the Pentagon or the CIA to cover up for China. They're not doing the dirty work to cover up for China. They're covering up for themselves. So that's why we need to be looking deeper at them. And if these members of the GOP who tend to be more populist, anti-establishment, don't trust any of these agencies, they might actually then look at them and point the finger at them. And that might be where we need
Absolutely.
this to go.
By the way, the
Yeah.
guy who has been the clearest, most straightforward, decent, honest, and relentless is Senator Rand Paul. And he
Yeah.
just is trying to follow the evidence. And he doesn't like the government in general. He's libertarian.
Right.
And
Right.
but he's so straight on this. And he tried to get Fauci to say something truthful on this, and Fauci really prevaricated in front of the committee relentlessly.
Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
seen, Senator Paul try to get, he's in the minority on the Senate side, so he can't launch the investigation. And the Democrats, even when they're presented with this horrible story that we need to get to the bottom of, they don't go along because they're trying to protect NIH. They're trying to protect Fauci. I don't know what they're trying to protect exactly, but they don't want to know the
Yeah.
truth.
Did you know that 60% of US pork production comes from one company owned by the Chinese? And their hogs are given something called ractopamine, which is banned in 160 countries, including China, yet you find it in your grocery store aisle every day. There's a better way. I'd like to tell you about Moink. That is moo plus oink is how you get to Moink. Moink delivers grass-fed and grass-finished beef and lamb, pastured pork and chicken, sustainable wild-caught Alaskan salmon straight to your door. Moink farmers farm like our grandparents did, and as a result, Moink meat tastes like it should because the family farm does it better. The Moink difference is a difference you can taste, and you can feel good knowing you're helping family farms stay financially independent too. You choose the meat delivered in every box, like ribeyes to chicken breasts to pork chops to salmon fillets and much more. Plus, you can cancel anytime. I've been eating my Moink meat for a while now for the last couple of weeks, and I got to say, it is actually way better meat. It really is. It tastes better. And I also just personally feel really good knowing that the animals are treated better, that they're not in those big factory farms treated like crap. I also really like knowing that family farms are being supported. They're sourcing all the meats from a variety of family farms across the country, and this is keeping them afloat rather than the farms are really suffering in this country right now. They are going under because of big factory farming. So this is a way to keep American family farming going. This is a way to get better tasting meat, and this is a way to get meat that is ethical. So you don't feel bad about how the animals are treated because they're treated really, really well. So you could go and sign up at moinkbox.com/Kim. You could do this right now. And if you do, then listeners of this show are going to get free ground beef for a year. That's 1 year of the best ground beef you'll ever taste, but for a limited time. So go to moinkbox.com/Kim. That link is down below and sign up. Feel good about the meat you're eating and the family farms you're helping, and also get that year of free beef.